synchronicity is quite interesting. I'll use the metaphor of a movie film. When you have a movie film and or any sort of thing that requires a script, it could be a stage production, it can be anything. But let's say, for instance, it's a motion picture, it's a film. So this motion picture would have to have, a concept in order to start. The writer, the creator or the writer would come up with a concept for this film. They would have ideas. They would set up an experience they wanted the characters to have. They would organize a setting and an atmosphere. They would organize some sort of moral. They would organize some sort of crescendo where you go up, and you climax and you go down, down, down. The story will have certain variations in the story to make it appealing and worthwhile making, putting into production. So how does this relate to synchronicity? It's relating in the sense of being a blueprint. Your blueprint is actually the script, and your blueprint is your DNA, and your DNA is completely everything in its totality. It's your DNA. It's all there. There is no junk DNA. There is no anything else other than everything that is there in your DNA. And the point of which you act from is the point of which the projector comes and projects through your DNA and gives you this experience as what you're experiencing. Activate more DNA, you have a broader picture. So going back to how it relates in a metaphor to synchronicity is synchronicity can be set up in a film, or it can appear to just sort of happen, but it happens by giving it first direction, giving it direction. So the soul incarnate here that's having the individualized source self experience is going to have a direction, a directive, and the character persona role that is going to bring it to life is the personality, the person in reality. So the person in reality is the personality, of which you can act from, act out, act to, and act in many, many ways, many forms. But based on a character breakdown that a director would give an actor, and that character breakdown would say, look, this is the character, he comes from this place, he has this sort of background, he has whatever the case may be, and realize that this also could come from, and does come from, your Akashic records, or your past lives, or your future lives. So they can intermingle and interrelate, because they are all happening at the quantum now. So, the synchronicity. As you give a character direction when you're in a film set environment, the director, after he goes to the production stage, he takes the concept of the story, he particularizes it, he takes it and maybe collaborates with a couple of other writers because another writer has a similar story, or another writer maybe wanted to, spice things up, so they make an agreement and they co-write. They co-write an existence. So they each maybe have a character they're working on, or several. So translate that into reality, and you have a story now. And the story with direction now, when it comes time to being built and produced, is on set. So when you're on set, that story becomes manifested, and all of a sudden you have the lights, you have the camera, and you have the environment, and the set, and the action. So the direction given to the characters, as an actor, if you're familiar with how actors work, the director will give direction to an actor. That actor will then take and internalize that direction, internalize the character breakdown, internalize the other actors and how they're going to be interacting with them and what the exchange is going to be. And then they will then come up with their own interpretation. But their own interpretation, maybe they leave out a couple of lines that the director had in mind and wrote in the script, or the writer. But the same point was getting across, but it was just, coming across in a different way, in a natural way, because the actor has become the character, enveloped the character, and from the point of a totally enveloped character, an actor has become that person. So that person would make that choice. Why? Because the writer may not have had exactly that experience. So the actor will, in turn, give an experience as it becomes that person. If you have an actor that can work from that point of utility, of versatility, then you can have that totality embodiment of that character. So again, how does that translate into synchronicity? Well, you can say that it branches off. It branches off. So when the director gives the direction, say the writer writes the film. The writer gives it to the director. The director says, okay, let's go, the oversoul. The director then gives the direction to the characters, the actors, and then the actors internalize and give their own expression, but it is all going according to script, or else what's the point of getting the actors together and hiring a director? There is none. So there is a definitive blueprint. There is certain particular nexus points, if you will. There are points that need to be hit in order to carry out the story. Anything that happens in between can be improv'd, or can be just shot on the fly, or maybe the director thinks of a new scene, to incorporate. You can do that. You can change characters. Literally. On television shows, the same thing they do in progressive television shows. They cut off characters. They kill them off. They change characters. So this is very well the analogy that can be used to describe how reality works in our incarnation from source. So how, again, does that translate into synchronicities? Well, when you look at the oneness aspect, and you really got to go within, you really do. When you go within yourself and you find that kingdom, that inner self, that inner savoir, that inner knowing, that translates into your outer world. And the definitions that you have will then come from that circular, centered place, that wholeness within you, as opposed to being shattered and scattered, fragmented, if you will, and not understood. The pieces of the puzzle, as it were, come together. So as the pieces of the puzzle come together, you just see those pieces come together. You can, to be honest, know what piece comes next. You'll know what you need. Oh, this piece, it's a yacht, and there's a boat there. Okay, well, I have yacht and half the boat. I know I need the other half of the boat. At some point, I know the other half of the boat's coming, and there it is, because I'm ready to put that piece together. So you don't worry about necessarily with the physical mind on where the piece is coming from, but you do know that the piece is coming. So you move forward with lifting up the pieces, and synchronicity will have it. There it is. You get the other piece of the boat. So I'll reword that a little differently again for another perspective, just to give it a versatile perspective. The synchronicity as you go within yourself, and I'm talking about going within, the kingdom of God is within. I'm talking about actually feeling your organs. This is feeling your entire body. It has not much to do, but it does have to do with the mind. You can do mantras, you can do chants, you can do physical dance, you can do all of these things to become familiar with your body. And meditation, you can go off and look at colors and have experiences, but you're here now, in the present. So when you look at your body and you go within your body, you start to feel it. You actually create new neuro pathways to your body. So when you think about your liver and you focus on your liver, and what does my liver need? What's going on with my heart? My kidneys, how they doing? My bladder, ooh, what is this I feel? Your organs will start to say, wow, the organism is recognizing us. There's an impulse. You can do this as an example right now where I'm talking to you right now. Keep listening to my words, but also feel the inside of the palm of your left hand. Just feel it. Keep listening to my words. You don't even have to look at your hand. But what's going on with your hand? What's the temperature in the inner core of your hand? How do the fingers feel that are attached to that palm? Is it moist in there? Like, what's going on? Can you actually feel where your skin is creased in the folding of your hand? Is it in a fist? What's going on? Are you familiar? But in that action, while you were listening to me, what you did was divert your attention. Attention creates. You can call this the law of attraction. So whatever you put your attention to, that is what you will attract. Same thing. Put your attention to drama. You'll attract drama. Doesn't matter if it's trying to avoid the drama or trying to go right into the drama. It doesn't matter. You're still putting attention on drama. Therefore, that's how the law of attraction will work for you. So, the attention. So once you bring your attention to those things, like bring it to your organs, bring it to your body. I've done this. This is kind of what I feel, as I started to do my raw detox and start, eating living food. And it literally became an enlightenment in the sense of it becoming the only point I can act from. I can't act from another point. I know better. I act better. I act from that point. So when you divert that attention to whatever organ and part of your body you are, and you can do this, it's magnificent. You can do healing. You can, create visualizations in your head, in your mind, that can work with your actual body and give it that source power to actually be the ability to heal, be the ability to heal itself, heal by itself. So how does that relate to energy centers as well? You can also do the same thing where you can focus on the upper part of your head, your crown chakra, your pineal gland, your medulla oblongata, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your sacral chakra, root chakra, etc. And there's really great concentrated information on evernewjoy.net. His name is Rama, and it's just an incredible source. I've been watching Rama's videos for years, and I really recommend that you check them out. Rama, evernewjoy.net. He has hours and hours and hours of free videos on YouTube, and he talks about this in depth on where to divert your attention. And what you do is you're creating new neural pathways in your brain to divert that attention. So you're basically rewiring your being. And when you rewire your being, you're enlightening yourself. Literally, it's like lightning shooting through your body. And when you're aware of the whole organism down to the molecular level, when you get there, that is when you can start to change your reality and your experience absolutely. Because when you're done doing that, then you look without. And when you go out there, you can then start to see those same things with people. You can walk down the street and you can feel a flower just by visualizing what it feels like. What does a flower feel like? And you can know, because you actually are feeling what the flower looks like, because that flower is your consciousness projected, because you are consciousness, you are the whole, another person. It's the same thing. This is how you can heal others. You can influence them. You can't just do it on their behalf. If they're soul incarnated for a particular experience, you can't overwrite that. Like a director would step in and say, no, you can't do that. I don't want you to do that, Mr. Actor, Mrs. Actor. I want you to follow the script because this has to happen for my story to come true. And I want this experience. I want to see this made. So that's how it is. So synchronicity becomes this just internalization, and it just becomes a knowing. You start to see it happen with numbers. You start to see it happen with people, with places. Your life pattern truly does become a life pattern. You become the living oneness. You realize everything is one, and everything is happening at once. There is one and eternal now. There is only now, the present moment. So you experience it as that. You start to cross bridges, as it were, or cross literally reality. So your reality becomes synchronistic. Of course it does. It's tightened. It's pulled together. You're aware. You've transcended. You've moved past. You moved in. You've moved without. You're familiar. You're doing it. You're actually following your blueprint, the script. So I hope this did a little clarification on synchronicities for you. If you have any questions, absolutely, come on to my website, send me an email, add me on Facebook, and I'll be sure to respond. And if you, of course, want to go deeper into this, I do offer coaching and specialize in this intuitively per individual. We can get down to isness, you and I, and we can go from there. Thanks, guys. Namaste.